So then, if you awaken from this illusion and you understand that black implies white, self implies other, life implies death, or shall I say, death implies life, you can feel yourself not as a stranger in the world, not as something here on probation, not as something that has arrived here by fluke, but you can begin to feel your own existence as absolutely fundamental. What you are basically, deep, deep down, far, far in, is simply the fabric and structure of existence itself. Let's suppose that you were able every night to dream any dream you wanted to dream. And that you could, for example, have the power within one night to dream 75 years of time, or any length of time you wanted to have. And you would, naturally, as you began on this adventure of dreams, you would fulfill all your wishes. You would have every kind of pleasure you could conceive. And after several nights of 75 years of total pleasure each, you would say, well, that was pretty great. But now let's have a surprise. Let's have a dream which isn't under control. Well, something is going to happen to me that I don't know what it's going to be. And you would dig that and come out of that and say, wow, that was a close shave, wasn't it? Then you would get more and more adventurous, and you would make further and further out gambles as to what you would dream. And finally, you would dream where you are now. You would dream the dream of living the life that you are actually living today. That would be within the infinite multiplicity of choices you would have, of playing that you weren't God. Because the whole nature of the Godhead, according to this idea, is to play that he's not. So in this idea then, everybody is fundamentally the ultimate reality, not God in a politically kingly sense, but God in the sense of being the self, the deep down basic whatever there is. And you're all that, only you're pretending you're not.
We are all interconnected. Hello to you all. We are streaming live from Maastricht. You're watching RHTVLive. And of course, we're going to talk geopolitics. And as you can see, we have a roundtable discussion. And I hope that people will come on. First, we're going to take a look at what's happening in and around our beautiful planet. And we're going to show where we are streaming live from the beautiful city of Maastricht, which is in the south of the Netherlands. So we have a roundtable discussion in the second hour. And first, we're going to watch what's happening in and around our beautiful planet. And let's take a look at Al Jazeera. Let's see what Qatar has to say, right? Because Al Jazeera is from Qatar. Here we have Al Jazeera. And we have some discussion topics on table right now. Is a peace deal in Gaza possible? Is it possible? We have Israel waging war in the Gaza Strip and also in Lebanon and other countries such as Syria and Yemen. So we have that going on. We also have Turkey attacking the north of Syria and Iraq. We got that going on, right? So it's the whole Middle East is a war zone, basically. Hospital in ruins in Gaza. Isn't that a war crime? Attacking a hospital, right? So we have many discussions on table. Let's take a look at what's happening overall in the world. We have unrest in Nigeria, in Africa, right? Unrest over there. Attempted political assassination and this and that. So there's a lot going on. We also have Lebanon, right? Lebanon airstrikes. Very important because, this is also putting the Middle East in the red zone, right? And we're also going to show on the map what is a red zone, what is an orange zone, and stuff like that. So first of all, we're going to take a look at the map and show what's basically happening, right? So here we have the Netherlands. I just shown you Maastricht, and we're going to take a look at the east of Europe. We have the war in Ukraine, the Donbas war, right? So we had a coup in 2014. That was 10 years ago. Yeah, it's been a while. But, Poroshenko attacked the east of Ukraine in 2014, and it's still going on. And Russia is now highly involved in the war in Ukraine. And we have all these European countries, which are now states within the European Union, supporting Ukraine. We even have Australians fighting in Ukraine. We're also going to take a look at some images from that, right? So Australians are fighting for Ukraine against the Russians. And over here in the Netherlands, we're all shell-shocked, basically, by, North Koreans supporting the Russians in the Donbas and also in Kursk. They've been spotted, right? We're going to take a look at some images from Australians in Ukraine fighting against the Russians. So, wait a sec. Here we go. Here we have Australians in Ukraine, whilst over here in Europe, everyone's astonished by North Koreans supporting the Russians, but Australia is supporting Ukraine, and we're not supposed to know that. So for all you Aussies out there, I'm sorry, but you guys are involved in the power vacuum. Well, not really power vacuum, war vacuum, right? There's a vacuum, and all these other countries are, fighting for each other side, right? We have North Korea supporting Russia. We have Australia supporting Ukraine. We have the Netherlands supporting Ukraine. All these other states within the EU supporting Ukraine. So we're going to take a look at this here. Going to put it on full screen, and let's see what the Australians are doing against the Russians.
I'm gonna skin you! Single fire. Yeah, bud.
So we have that going on, right? We don't like warfare, but we're just trying to give an image on what's happening in Ukraine.
There it is! Fucking cunt!
So they're trying to shoot down a drone or something like that, I believe.
Missed us! Relax.
So Australians fighting in Ukraine, right? We have that going on. Let's see what this is. Notifications. Netherlands is worried about North Korea joining in Ukraine, but says nothing about Aussies in Ukraine. Kamervragen Thierry Baudet, Pepijn van Houwelingen en Gideon Vermeijeren from the FVD, trying to ask them questions, if they can ask that to the government, right? What are Australians doing in Ukraine? Why are they fighting in the war, right? So let's see what else is going on, right? We have the BRICS summit also going on, or has it ended? I don't know. Let's see. BRICS summit 2024. There we go. In Kazan, Russia, the BRICS summit. Putin greeted leaders of BRICS countries, gala dinner, right? So we have that going on. And, the BRICS is basically a trade agreement, right? And very hard to explain. But I believe this clip will explain more than I can.
This summit was pitched as a meeting of an alternative world order. It's also been an opportunity for Vladimir Putin to show he's not isolated despite Western sanctions over the conflict in Ukraine. In a rare appearance in front of the foreign press, he was asked about former US President Donald Trump's promise to end the fighting.
What Mr. Trump was recently talking about, and what I've heard, he was talking about his desire to do everything possible to end the conflict in Ukraine. I think he means it. Of course, we welcome the statements of this kind, whoever makes them.
President Putin is speaking with journalists at a Q&A session summing up the key outcomes of the 2024 BRICS summit. His positions on the conflicts in Ukraine and the Middle East are of the greatest interest to the media. The Russian leader also warned that the Middle East was on the brink of a full-scale war. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas attendance and called for an end to Israel's genocide that's more than 40,000 Palestinian lives.
There is an urgent need for the putting into effect the Security Council resolution for immediate ceasefire and allow the runs of the humanitarian aid as well as full Israeli withdrawal from the Gaza Strip.
Hey, wait a minute. What about the West Bank? Right? They're also in the West Bank. Come on, they're also there. You know that as a Palestinian leader, so-called leader, right? You know that they're also in the West Bank. So if you want to have peace, real stability, that's what we want, right? This is why the roundtable discussion will be in the second hour. Let's hope that we can achieve peace. but this is not very complex, right? Israel has the right to defend itself, and so do the Palestinians, even though they're not really a state. And, this is why there is a war in the Middle East. One of the root causes is the Sykes-Picot Agreement, right? We know about the Sykes-Picot Agreement. We've shown it on RHTVLive many, many times. So we have external powers deciding what the Middle East will look like, right? Syria, Lebanon used to be under French rule, right? We have Israel and Jordan, which used to be Transjordan, right? Under British rule, and also Saudi Arabia, Lawrence of Arabia, look the movie up, right? Who installed a monarchy there, right? We know. So, yeah, that is basically the history of the Middle East, external powers deciding what country will be a country.
Turkish president called for BRICS countries to do more to stop the violence.
Birleşmiş Milletler nezdinde
supporting Israel with guns and...
Oh yeah, stop the violence. What about the bombs you dropped in Syria and also Iraq, right? Erdogan, what about that? What about the many terrorists that went through your country to destabilize Syria? Well, what about that? What about the Syrian oil you stole? What about that? Hypocrite.
and ammunition without any conditions only increases the crisis and instability. It must be stopped. Otherwise, it encourages Israel to become much more destructive.
Although the optics of the summit may have been a success for Vladimir Putin, getting meaningful support from the BRICS countries as Russia drifts from the West will be a harder task. Yulia Shapovalova, Al Jazeera, Kazan, Russia.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.
So here we have Turkey hits Kurdish targets in Iraq and Syria after terror attack in Ankara. We have the aviation company that had a terrorist attack in Ankara. Many people got wounded and many, well, not many have died, but there were casualties. And we're going to take a look at this here. We have Turkey hitting targets in Iraq and Syria.
Kurds. What are you hearing?
Wait, we have to rewind first. This is CBS News. Never mind. Let's see what the Guardian has to say. These are just images, so that is clear enough. Now, normally after a terroristic attack, you have someone who claims the attack, and as far as I know, there's no group that has claimed the attack. So Turkey is just, hitting countries, which who knows if they're involved, right? This is very, very sad. We do not want war, but this is escalating, right? We're going to show it on the map, which are the red places and the orange places and such. So, but first, this.
Bas 401 numara 05'ler görüldü.
So we have two armed assailants going to attack the aviation HQ and defense company TUSAS. Five people were killed in the attack and more than 20 were injured. So that's happening, right? We have Turkey attacking Syria and Iraq, the northern part, right, where they say that PKK, the Kurdish separatist movement, are hiding out. And this is also because of the Sykes-Picot Accords, right? They basically promised a Kurdish state, which never came to be, you know. So, and the Kurdish people, they're also Turkish, but they don't really feel like they're Turkish, right? They're Kurdish. So, and they want a state within Turkey, right, that can decide for themselves. And what Erdogan is doing is very, very bad, right? We have a roundtable discussion and we want peace. That's what we want, right? Why not have an autonomous state within Turkey? You know, instead of a Turkish republic, why not make it a federation and, you know, change some rules here and there? And it's possible, you know, if that's the way for peace, that is on the table, you know. So we have that going on, right? There's so much to talk about. So, yeah. Lately, I haven't really been looking at politics because everywhere you look, it's war, right? War. So let's indicate on the map where there is war and where it's spreading out, right? So we have Ukraine, which is dark red, right? You know, maybe even all of Europe, who knows? We have Moldova trying to join the EU, whilst the public says we need to be an autonomous state, right? We don't need the EU. And the politicians, you know, they sign everything and they don't really care. So, and within Moldova, you have Transnistria, which is basically a satellite state that supports Russia. You know, it's Ukraine in small, basically. So who knows if Trump will, you know, achieve peace in Ukraine. You see, there are two peace things, contracts, put it that way, on table, right? You have Zelensky saying all of the east of Ukraine must be with Ukraine, including the this year Crimea, right? So, and Moscow is basically saying, nope, we have the east of Ukraine and we have Crimea, and you know, who knows if Turkey will eventually go away from NATO, right? Because, you know, they asked for jet fighters and they did not get it. So they made their own jet fighter, right? So they're not dependent on either Russia or NATO, right? So we're going to show the jet fighter that they made, and this is fairly new, so roughly 8 months ago, and we're going to take a look at the Khan jet fighter, which that aviation company where the terrorist attack was involved in, right? So just connecting the dots here, you know, we're going to take a look at the jet fighter. Here we go. No F-35, that's what Turkey was asking NATO, you know, and NATO said, nope, we're not going to deliver you F-35s. So no F-35, no problem, as Turkey 5th generation fighter jet Khan takes off. Yep. So this is a fabricated plane with NATO parts and also Russian parts. You know, they got no jet fighters from NATO, but they still had fighters, right? And they did get fighters from Russia, but NATO sanctioned Turkey on those jet fighters. So what Turkey did is they dismantled that jet fighter and the jet fighters they had, they reassembled and made a new fighter, the Khan.
A landmark moment for Turkish military aerospace. The maiden flight of the Khan fighter, the country's first homegrown warplane and 5th generation jet. On the face of it, the relatively gentle 13-minute flight might seem tame, but it's a huge step in the country's efforts to upgrade its own air force. The stealth, twin-engined, all-weather air superiority fighter is being produced by the state-owned Turkish aerospace industries, with British multinational BAE Systems acting as a subcontractor. Turkey has prioritised developing domestically made combat aircraft since 2010, with Turkish aerospace industries focusing much of its early efforts into producing a successful range of drones and unmanned aircraft. It has branched out into helicopters as well, with the advanced Attack 2 expected to go into service with the Turkish military as early as next year. The Khan has more than a passing resemblance to the F-35, and perhaps that's no surprise. Turkey was originally part of the US-led Joint Strike Fighter program, but it was booted out in 2019 following the decision to buy Russian-made S-400 missile defense systems. Washington was worried a crossover could compromise the F-35's sensitive stealth technology. The advanced jet will eventually replace Turkey's fleet of aging F-16s, but in the meantime, Turkey has been looking into 4th generation options as a stopgap. The US has agreed to sell Turkey 40 new F-16s and also help modernise 80 more of the existing warplanes. Turkey is also looking at buying 40 Eurofighter Typhoons to help upgrade its current options. 2 of the 3.
So we just saw that terrorist attack, right? And there's no one that claimed, that attack. So who knows? Maybe this is a black op NATO mission, right? To persuade, put it that way, Turkey to choose for the Western Hemisphere. instead of the East.
Three Typhoon partner nations, the UK and Spain, are willing to sell aircraft to Ankara, but Germany are so far reluctant. All the more reason then for Turkey to push ahead with developing its own military aircraft. The new jet is still at least a decade away from appearing in meaningful numbers with the Turkish Air Force, and perhaps longer still before it becomes marketable to foreign buyers.
Now that's something we can put on table, right? Is it good for Turkey to have their own jet fighters, not be dependent on either Russia or the EU, NATO? Is that good? Is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? You know, we saw what happened in Syria and Iraq.
But that didn't dampen celebrations at the Khan's first flight. Richard Johnson, Forces News.
So, who knows, maybe there is a connection within NATO and that attack that we just saw. You know, who knows? We're not into conspiracy theories here, but I see a thin red line, you know. We also see this in other events, such as the Polish government, which decided to join the Russian Federation. Remember that 2010 Smolensk air disaster. The whole cabinet was basically evaporated. Plane crashed in near Moscow, Smolensk. So who knows what really happened there, right? It's one big question mark. So yeah, we have that going on. There's so much going on, right? We're going to take a look at Israel and Lebanon and see what damage has been done over there, right? We don't want war, but this is happening. We're just giving the frame of reality, right? And this is the reality on the ground. And we're going to take a look at this here. This is from 2 days ago. Israel's military signals end to its bombing in northern Lebanon could be close. So, you know, I don't know any people from Lebanon, right? I just want them to live in peace. That's what I want. Right? These people don't need war. You know, what's happening there is also affecting what's happening here. We have many people from Lebanon living in the Netherlands, and, you know, they are suffering, and as are we, right? So we're going to take a look at this here. First, we're going to rewind. Let's see what's happening here. We see I think it's a body bag or something like that, right? So we're going to put this full screen.
At least 17 dead, nearly all of them women and children, according to Palestinian health officials. All part, Israel says, of a precision bombing campaign targeting militants hiding out among civilians. Another 42 injured in the bombing in central Gaza's built-up Nuseirat refugee camp. The Israeli military says its latest Gaza strikes have killed a Hamas commander involved in killing and kidnapping on October the 7th. The UN relief agency UNRWA confirmed the commander was also working for them as a driver. It says Mohammed Abu Etiwi's name was on a list sent by Israel of 100 staff members suspected of involvement in armed groups. But UNRWA says it never received the extra information it requested. As hundreds took to the streets of Jerusalem to demand the release of the estimated 100 remaining hostages. Amit Susana, held for 55 days and sexually assaulted, making an emotional appeal at the UN Security Council.
I was held captive alone, chained by my ankle with a metal chain, unable to move, and had to ask for permission to use the bathroom. Every day that passes steals another piece of their soul and endangers their life. Act now before it is too late, I urge you.
As the war's devastating toll on both sides is highlighted on the international stage, Israel has raised the prospect of an end in sight to its Lebanon campaign.
בצפון יש אפשרות להגיע לסוף חג.
In the north, there's a possibility of reaching a sharp conclusion.
אנחנו גמרנו את השרשרת פיקוד של חיזבאללה.
We thoroughly dismantled Hezbollah's senior chain of command in a very thorough manner. Yeah, right. You assassinated their political leader. You assassinated the head of the military branch, right? You bombed the last bank that Libya or Lebanon had, right, which was in the hands of Hezbollah. You know, so there goes the finances, right? But still, they are fighting.
A residential building hit by a Hezbollah missile in the country's north.
רצנו למקלט, לא עבר 10 שניות והיה פיצוצים. ואז אחרי כמה שניות שמענו הדף.
As the IDF claims to have fatally weakened the military group's operations. An international conference for Lebanon has raised more than $1.5 billion in humanitarian and security aid for the country. But on the streets of the capital, it's not money but peace they're after. If they could just end the war, this would help us more.
That's what we want. We want peace. Peace, damn it, peace. We don't want war. We don't want any more lives being lost because Israel, sees an enemy around the corner. We want peace. That's what we want. Right? Stop bombing each other. This is also a topic that we can put on table. Is it a good thing or a bad thing to eliminate a political power within another country, right? Even though Hezbollah also had a military branch, and is that a good thing? Because now the whole political situation in Lebanon is even more destabilized after the big explosion that happened in Beirut. Remember that one? That big explosion? You may say, I'm a weirdo, but nope. We're going to show the explosion. Let's see if this, here we go. Here we have a wedding, right, on the day of the explosion. And this is history we're watching. Now, that was not
what starts out as the best day of Isra Sablani's.
That was not a terrorist attack or something. That was a storage facility that had like explosive material and got warm and it exploded, right? This is from the wedding view, right? We're gonna watch this here, the mushroom cloud that came over Beirut. 4 years ago.
I'm good, I'm good.
Police!
A free press matters. Indeed. Indeed, that is what we really need. We need a free press, not a press that's that has strings, and stuff. We don't need a mockingbird press. We need a free press. We need to know what's going on in the world, right? Without getting a frame of consensus, or that is what we need. Transparency within the media, right? So that's also an issue on table. Is it transparent in your country? And do you get the real news, right? Because I'm doing this because I'm being lied to. Right? Anyone can start a StreamYard or a Restream and just give the news, show what's really happening, explain people what's going on, right? We used to do this every day, but the weight on my shoulders, right, was too heavy. So we're doing this every Sunday, trying to explain what's going on in the world, right? We're trying to prevent World War III from really happening. Now, over in the US, we have Donald Trump basically fighting his ass off, right? Because he's everywhere, man. He's been on Joe Rogan's show, even though Joe Rogan said, nope, we're not going to do Trump. We're not going to do Kamala. No, we're not going to do that. But we have Elon Musk that said to Joe Rogan, you must have him on your show. And it was a 3-hour interview. And we're going to show a small segment of that interview. So it's 2 hours and 58 minutes, basically. We're going to go to the beginning.
Final week, and I said, "Boy, we've come a long way since that."
What was it like?
The concept, it was really like two different lives. I had a very wonderful life, but I wanted to do this. The Apprentice was still going very strong. We had 12 seasons, and we had actually 14 seasons, 12 years over. They had a couple of them.
Well, they canceled The Apprentice when you were running for president, correct?
No, they had Arnold Schwarzenegger do it. I was involved in that, and I had enough of it, and we did great. It was doing great, but they wanted me to stay. They all came to see me. They said, we're going to give you a contract. They wanted to extend my contract. Mark Burnett is a great guy. Then they wanted to extend the contract. Mark said, you're crazy. Don't run. No. Nobody gives up prime time, they said. It's one of those little things, which is probably true.
Nobody gives up prime time, though, for being president?
For running against 20 some odd people, it turned out to be 18 professional people, mostly politicians. They said, who would do this? I mean, it's a long shot. Actually, the heads of NBC came over, Paul.
Well, I'm not really a Donald Trump fan, right? But he is different within politics because he's not a politician. He's a businessman. These politicians are used to laying down in the swamp, and everything's corrupt, and they profit from the corruption. And suddenly you have this guy that came out of nowhere, this businessman, and now he's in the pond, right? And he's trying to clean the pond. Give him praise for that. He's everywhere, man. After the Joe Rogan interview, he went to, where was it? Somewhere in the U.S. and had a big rally for over an hour. And this is 3 hours, right? Compare that to Kamala Harris, who never actually won a vote. During the 2019 primary, she quit, and Joe Biden basically hired her as a DEI and as vice president. And she's done nothing. So, very interesting interview. We're going to show some more.
Legny, all the top people came over to see me, try and talk me out of it because they wanted to have me extend. The Apprentice was doing well. So it was 14 seasons. It was 12 years. We had 2 seasons where we had a double, which rarely happens. It was just a hot show. And I said, I want to do this. What happened is previously, like 3 years, 4 years before that, they did a poll. They had Mitt Romney, and somehow they put me in a poll. And I blew everybody away. I blew him away, which isn't that hard, frankly. But I blew everybody away. And I said, that's interesting, because I never really gave it that much real thought. I thought about it, but never real thought. But I saw these polls were very good. And so I was thinking about doing it then, but I had a contract with The Apprentice. Plus, I was building 2 big buildings at the time, and I wanted to make sure they got finished up properly. And it was one of those things. The kids were just sort of getting involved. They're very capable kids, but they were getting involved early on. So I did that. I got them done. I had some very good successes. And I came on, and then I thought about it for the next one after the Romney disaster. And I ran and I won against Hillary. And it was quite an experience. But it was a different life because you're right, The View. I was on The View many, many times. And they loved me.
Just the way people would talk. I mean, even if people had criticisms about you, people that didn't like you, there was always feuds and stuff like that. But the reality was, the thing turned on you when they found out that you were going to be president. It was very coordinated. And some people are catching on to that now. There's a lot of people that were longtime Democrats like Elon and Bill Ackman and all these different, very intelligent people.
And they support me now. Bill Ackman.
This is what they do. They make a star out of you, right? They profit from your creative input, and the same happened to Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson spoke out against Sony, saying he's not a slave for Sony and such. This is what happens. You have a light which attracts many weird insects and stuff like that. And put it in a metaphor, right? But this happens.
And they support you now.
Supports me. He's been very supportive too.
This is what I wanted to ask you. What was it like when you actually got in? Because nobody really can prepare you for that. When you're running for president, you don't really know what it's going to be like when you actually get into office. What did you think it was going to be like?
In office or when I decided to run?
No, when you got in.
When I was in. So when I was in and won and was in the White House, essentially. Yes. Well, first of all, it was very surreal. It's very interesting. When I got shot, it wasn't surreal. That should have been surreal. When I was laying on the ground, I knew exactly what was going on. I knew exactly where I was hit. They were saying you were hit all over the place because there was so much blood from the ear. You would know that better than anyone. When they get the ear torn up.
Ears bleed a lot,
they bleed. Anyway, so, and I was thinking the other day, when that happened, I really knew where I was. I knew exactly what happened. I said I wasn't hit anywhere else. With the presidency, it was a very surreal experience, okay?
Like, what's day one like? You win?
Yeah.
So what's day one like, right? When are you really seated in the seat of power, right? When do you have the power to make an executive order? There are things going on in the U.S. that we cannot really explain. The left side is going crazy. We've had multiple assassination attempts on Donald Trump, right? So who knows what's going to happen next when he is president? Let's put that on the table. what is the future for the US when Donald Trump eventually becomes president, or when Cackling Kamala becomes president? But I don't think that Kamala Harris has a very big opportunity. The window of opportunity is closing in on Kamala Harris, because if we look at the Kamala Harris campaign, it's imploding, according to our friend over there in the US, Mark Dice.
Utter train wrecks. But her campaign rallies aren't doing so well these days either. Here she is in Kalamazoo, Michigan, dressed like a character from the Hunger Games, getting heckled by people on the left.
We are fighting for America's future, and we understand the opportunity.
He's shouting no more Gaza war because a certain segment of the left are very upset with her that she isn't siding with the Palestinians because they're also brown people like her.
We have before us to turn the page on the fear.
And just like that, he threw a wrench in her entire speech. One guy.
Now, you do see the power that one person has, right? One person can stir up a whole crowd, right? So, and Kamala's like speechless. She's like, what can I say now? You know, so it's breaking apart. The Democratic Party is breaking apart right in front of our eyes.
The Democrats are getting so desperate, they're bringing out all the big celebrities in the final few days before the election. At this event, she was joined on stage by Big Mike, Barack Obama's wife.
She's putting herself out there fearlessly, facing down even her harshest critics. She's seeking out Republicans to find common ground. And
Republicans like Rhino, Scum, Liz Cheney, and
now, of course, this is a meme, right?
Adam Kinzinger, a thought leader, she says, of Cheney.
Unlike her opponent, she's not ducking interviews or cowering in safe spaces only with fawning audiences.
Actually, she just turned down the Joe Rogan podcast after Donald Trump sat down with Joe for 3 hours. I believe this meme was made by DeFranzer Memes on Twitter. I always like to give credit to the fantastic meme makers. And little did he know it, but Barack Obama became a meme and part of a Trump campaign ad when he was on stage stumping for Kamala after he admitted this.
Too many folks here in Georgia and across the country are struggling to pay the bills. We all know the price of everything from housing to health care to groceries is still too high, and it hurts.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Now, I believe that Mr. Barack Obama, Barry Soetoro, basically said, we don't have a magic wand. You know, we cannot rebuild America with a magic wand, right? You know, and he's lying. He's lying straight to your face. You see, politics is basically the art of lying. These people have no money. You know, they have an ideal, right? These are ideologues, and they have this certain ideal for America to be a socialist country, you know. But that is not how America came to be, right? It's the land of opportunity for everyone, for every American citizen, right? But where's the opportunity when all the factories are gone? There is no work anymore. Where is the opportunity in that? You want to see the streets of Philadelphia? You want to see that? You know, it's a hell zone over there. Streets of Philadelphia. There we go. Oh, no. That's the song, Bruce Springsteen. Here we go. Zombieland. The land of the free, right? Now, let's put this on the table. What in the hell is going on in America? I know what's going on. All the jobs are shipped overseas, right? All these people have nothing to do. So they're out there, begging for money. Some people are so high on drugs, they want to escape the reality that they're in. There is no future. This is what they want. They don't want you to have a future. They don't want you to have a job or a successful life. They want this, this zombie here, probably stepping over his own drool. So this is the United States of America, the land of the free, the land of opportunity, right? People sleeping in tents on the streets, not even owning an apartment or a house, probably evicted because they could not pay the bill, right? Now, let's take a look at average Joe, right? Average Joe has a job at a steel factory. Now, the steel factory says, no, it's easier to make steel somewhere else. It's cheaper that way. We have cheap labor, So average Joe is laid off. Buy job, buy. And average Joe needs to find a new job. Right? Now, will he find a job or will he, be on the streets such as all these people? The chance is very, very big that you're on the streets. This is not how America's supposed to function. You guys were the richest country in the whole world. And now it's a shithole everywhere. Now, maybe it's because of individualism, right? We're all individuals. We don't really care about others unless it's concerning our family, our, next to kin. So all these other people, it's hard to care for them. But doesn't it say something about society when you have like tents on the streets and, people, their living conditions are like a third world country. A third world country. I don't know all these people, they're probably high on drugs, but I don't know. There may be some people that could not pay the bills, right, and ended up on the streets. I don't know. But this is shameful. America is spending loads of money in Ukraine and stuff like that. Yeah, we know who the investors are. J.P. Morgan and Jamie Dimon and BlackRock. Well, we know. We show the images of Zelensky shaking hands with the new owners of Ukraine, the investors, right? So I'm not making this up. I'm not making this up. It's shameful to see. So we have that on the table, right? It's, loads of issues on the table. So we're going to go back to the map and show some hotspots here. So, as I've said before, Ukraine is dark red, right? Turkey would be orange, even though there was a terrorist attack, and they're attacking the north of Syria, northeast of Syria, and the north of Iraq. That's what they're doing. And Erdogan says, oh, Bibi Netanyahu, you are bad because you attack multiple countries in one day. Well, Erdogan, you're doing the same, right? You are doing the same. So we have Turkey as orange color, right? We also have Syria, a frozen conflict. We still have the proxies trying to overthrow Assad, but basically they're surrounded and in major cities such as Homs and other places. So the frozen conflict in Syria, we have a real red hotspot in Israel, the south of Lebanon, and also the Golan Heights, right, which is being targeted by Lebanon. But there's a game changer. Russia has a military base installed at the Golan Heights. So, an attack there is an attack on Russia. So, and we also have the other Russian port in Tartus, Syria, which is also such as Ukraine, Crimea, which used to be Ukraine, now it's Russia, right? But they have a military port here in Tartus. Now, let's go back at 2011, right, when there was a war in Syria. What's the best way to supply Syria with military-grade weapons and such? Would that be through the Black Sea, or would that be through the Baltic Sea, right? Which way is the best way to supply them? Well, I think it's the Black Sea. And this is why the Black Sea is very important for the Ukraine war, right? We also have Odessa, where there are NATO generals and such planning out attacks on Crimea and other places of Ukraine. We also saw Australians fighting in Ukraine. So, yeah, that's the war vacuum, right? Attracting other countries. So we have that going on. Real red zone, and then orange, right? Turkey's orange. Syria also would be orange, right? Frozen conflict. And this would be dark red. Israel, Lebanon, dark red. And the darkest of red would be Gaza at this moment. Very, very sad thing to see. These people have nowhere to go, right? They're locked off with big fences that they cannot climb over barbed wire and such cameras, and so they have nowhere to go, and they're basically starving. And this is a war crime, right? This is a war crime. So if you're watching RHTVLive at YouTube, we're going to put in the link where you can join the stream, and let's discuss geopolitics and such. I've put out lots of issues on table, so click the link and you'll come on in the studio and talk geopolitics, in the hope that people will discuss geopolitics with me, because we're all in this together, right? We all want peace, whether it's Israel, whether it's Iraq, Syria, Turkey. I don't care where you're from. We need peace. That is what we need. And how can we achieve peace? Well, by discussing the issues. And let's hope someone will pop in and discuss the issues with me, right? So as we're waiting for a guest to come on in, we're also going to show what's happening in Asia, right? Because it's our beautiful planet. We all live on it. And we have North and South Korea, as I've said a week ago. The path to unification of the Korean Peninsula is very, very far away, because North Korea bombed. Let's see, do we have a guest? I heard something like bleep. No guest yet. Nothing in the background. So we have that going on. We're going to show some images from North Korea, right? And let's hope that someone will come around the table and talk to me about geopolitical issues, right? Very, very important. Let's see if we can find some images. We were already shown some images a week ago, right? So, Mr. Green Thumb did join in. I don't see you in the background though. That's pretty odd. Normally you see something in the background, but yeah, try and join in again, please, if you want, right? So we're going to take a look at North Korea and the highway that connects north to south being blown up by Korea. So here we have North Korea destroying the inter-Korea roads.
A warning, North Korea blew up roads on its side of the border with South Korea. A violent but symbolic gesture, severing a path connecting the two rivals. The South Korean military responded by firing warning shots on its own territory. The episode signals escalating tensions on the peninsula. Pyongyang accuses Seoul of routinely violating its airspace. On Sunday, the powerful sister of leader Kim Jong-un warned there would be consequences.
The scattering of leaflets over the capital city will be regarded as a grave, politically motivated provocation and an infringement upon our sovereignty. But the fact that drones carried the leaflets is at the core of the seriousness of this incident.
South Korea's military has denied sending drones north, but Pyongyang says it has clear evidence its southern neighbor was behind drones that reached Pyongyang in recent weeks. Activists and North Korean defectors also fly balloons into the north, carrying aid parcels and leaflets criticizing Kim. The north has retaliated with its own balloons, filled with trash, even human waste. On Tuesday, South Korea condemned the destruction of the roads.
What North Korea has done is a clear violation of the Inter-Korean Agreement. We see it as a very abnormal act, and the government strongly condemns it.
North Korea has spent months laying mines and building anti-tank barriers, and after pledging last week to permanently seal its southern border, blowing up some roads may be only the beginning of a diplomatic winter.
Let's put that on table, right? Is it a good thing or a bad thing to, enclose the border and, distance yourself from unification? We want to see unification. We want to see the families meeting each other again. We've also shown those images, right? Families meeting each other. There is someone in the back. Where do I see that? Wait a minute. Yeah. They changed something on the stream. Let's see. Here we have Alex.
Hey.
Hello, Alex.
Hey, buddy.
Thank you for joining the stream.
No problem. No problem.
So you've been watching RHTVLive. What discussion is on your mind?
For me, well, it's more to go along with what you were talking about. I see the corruption that's going around. I see how they're trying to move it around and keep blaming other country, but to me, the way I see it's even in the 1960s they were planning this, and we're seeing technically their plan coming to fruit. Meanwhile, back then they were telling us, "No, we don't have a plan. No, that's not what we're doing." Now we can prove them wrong and say, "Yes, that's what you were doing back then." Yeah, because now we're seeing the fruit of it.
They use the frame conspiracy theorist, right?
Yep.
To dissuade you from talking about the subject. Say JFK, for instance, right?
Oh yeah, and after they declassify all the document about JFK, everybody kind of realized, oh, they lied to us about everything.
Well, not everything is declassified. There is still,
no, you're right,
a small portion that's not declassified yet.
Yep.
So,
well, yeah, it would tell us exactly how they did it. Mm-hmm. Of course, they don't want us to know. It's like the old Watergate thing. Well, they just didn't expect to get caught. Well, because they've been doing it in the background for a long time. They just didn't expect to get caught back then. And that's why it made a massive scandal.
I question myself why, okay, we blundered, we make a mistake. Why not just say that? Okay, we assassinated your president. Yeah, you got to listen to us,
I guess rich people have problem with truth and not lying. Mm-hmm. Because I don't see any poor people. Like if it was, let's say the whole thing about JFK and all that would have been a really poor person that just didn't like the president back then, didn't like Kennedy, and went and shoot it. Would that have made the news?
No, of course not.
Probably. Oh no, I'm pretty sure if it was a poor person, but they would have refrained, they would have omitted massive amount of the story just so we can't figure out that the guy was poor. And it's like, oh, okay, then he has a reason. They want to remove our reason. Like they don't want us to be truthful and say, hey, we were correct all those years. We've been telling you and you've been denying us.
Let's make a comparison with the assassination on Trump, right?
Okay, yep.
Matthew, whatever his name is, we still know no motivation. Why did he do that?
Well, on that, I think I have conflicting ideas. On one hand, I'm pretty sure it was portrayed by the person that was the target. I could see that so much just because, but I can't understand why. Imagine if the government has been lying to us for since their government. Well, they don't want us to know about that. That's the part that they try as much as they can so they can be reelected, showing us voting works and all that. So how far would someone on our side has to do to get in? Like, how much do you need to do? Do you need to do a shooting? Do you need to do 2? Do you need to do 3? Do you need to bring UFO in? There's a lot to take in consideration. And I'm not saying he has anything to do with it. This is just my opinion. I could see it. It's possible, but then it's also possible from the other side to really have done that. And it's like, okay, well, which one is more plausible? There's no way to know. Both sides will hide it. Like that's the one thing. Even with the businessman and Trump will make him hide what is really, because he probably has other businesses that we don't really want to know about it, because if we knew, he might lose a lot of money. And that's what I mean. It's like, it's not because it's part of the crime. It's just, no, it's part of the life of a businessman and politician. And right now it's conflicting.
That's very true. You know, so what do you think the odds are of Trump being president again?
Oh, I think it's 100%. Only because of the 2 last shooting. That's what I mean. Without the shooting, I was giving him 50%, 50-50. But now with the shooting, he's got like 90%. He had like 75% with the first one, and the second one give them the rest. And it's like, yeah, I do believe he's going to win. Do I think it's wrong? Not really. He's a businessman, but I've been following that businessman for many years. And like I told my roommate, he's complicit in so many other businesses because he's a businessman. He will cut corners at some point. And I don't think that's what we need as a leader, but I think that's what we need now to undo whatever has been done. Do I think that he's going to push propaganda, like not propaganda, but is he going to push censor? Well, I remember at the beginning of COVID and all that, censor was pushed, and he was there. So
I know. I was banned a couple of times because I was talking about stuff that was not allowed back then.
Yeah, exactly. So do I believe that he's going to stop censoring? I'm like, no. He's a rich guy that wants to keep his shit private, and I can understand why. But that's why I don't think he's a good president for that reason. He's too business. He's not gonna care when it's time to cut corners. We're gonna pay the price regardless. And I'm talking about North America, not just USA. But then, do I think he's a bad person? No, I don't think so. I think he's just a good businessman that wants his business to succeed. And right now, all he sees is the other side is technically crashing the whole country. So his business cannot succeed anymore. And it's like, wow, okay. So they're willing to do war. Meanwhile, do I think Trump is pro-war? No, he's not. I think he would stop the war, but I also think that by doing that, he might bring the world to pieces. Just
Who
because
knows?
we don't know. We don't know how far this is gonna go.
Yeah, the war machine has many cards, that they can play, such as a false flag, maybe some, who knows?
And it's only my opinion on that matter. It's only my opinion as a Canadian. I'm like, yeah, I'm away from American politics, but recently I see it. Like I didn't watch the Joe Rogan interview, but my roommate did, and he kept telling me about it. So I'm like, okay, I understand what's necessary, and the fact that Kamala could not do the same with Joe Rogan tells me everything I need to know on Harris. It's like, but I already knew everything I needed to know. Like I watched The Simpsons. If you remember the Simpsons episode, Lisa is supposed to be the one coming in later. Like Trump ain't Lisa, and Kamala Harris ain't Lisa either.
Now,
there's a third one that will show up in the next year that we haven't seen yet.
Why do the Democrats want like a female president? I mean, we had Hillary Clinton, right?
Yeah.
She also ran for president.
She's to me what's his name? To me she's Satan 2.0.
Yeah, what she did in Libya is unforgivable.
Everything from the time she was a little girl to the way she grew up. I think it's like she was groomed for all this stuff, and she was good at it. Really, really, really good at it. And with everything that's happening, like I say, the like some people, some families choose their side long ago. Thanks, buddy.
Accent.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that everything I'm saying is set in stone and all that. I'm just saying mostly my opinion, and I understand it's mostly my opinion, but I like to research so much that I go crazy by researching everything. And then I realized that, they've been at it. They've been at it for at least 200-300 years on our side. For Canada, oh yeah, the country was built on a lie, and we are a corporation. Meanwhile, they never told us that. They don't tell us that when we grew up, that Canada is a corporation. It's an American corporation.
So you are on the French side of Canada, right? Or yeah.
Yep.
Right. Now, when are the elections coming up? Like the elections in Canada, the country elections, not the state. When is that?
I don't,
next year?
To tell you the truth, I'm not too sure on that one. I really don't like. I stopped. I had to stop. I was going crazy with all this stuff, and I'm doing all my research, so I had to stop looking at it. So I haven't looked at the news or listened to the radio or look at the newspaper for a very long time. All I'm getting is little bits here and there from my buddies that are coming in, and one is talking UK only, and the other one is talking about the politic here. And from what he's saying, I think it's going to be on May or something like that, like May that's coming, but I'm not sure. I'm really not sure on that one.
So I just typed in Canada elections. And
next year. Okay. Yeah. Next year.
Let's see the results here.
Yeah. I think it's in May or something like that.
The 45th Canadian federal election will take place on
October. Okay.
Or before October 20th, 2025. So next year.
Okay.
So you have one more year with that prick, that everyone in Canada hates Trudeau. Right?
Oh yeah. The only one that doesn't hate him is himself.
Yeah, he's arrogant.
But he doesn't see that yet.
Yeah,
because he thinks he's loved. He like Trudeau really thinks he's loved by everyone in Canada, but it's weird. Everyone he goes, people have megaphone and call him names and all that, and he waves at us with a smile, and it's like, what kind of that's a dictator move. Like
exactly.
if I was in charge and people yell at me like all the nasty stuff, I would take my time to go talk to them to find out why they're mad and then try to change it. But no. He's so narcissistic that he
doesn't care.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically.
He doesn't care about us. So that tells me everything there too. I'm like, okay. I learned not to, like, I don't believe in politics. I just believe that politics is supposed to be a tool for us, the people.
Hello, Chris.
To be
How
able
are
to have
you
a
doing?
voice. Hey, Chris.
You cool?
Am I on or what? What's going on?
Yep. Yeah,
you're on. You're on.
How you guys doing?
Not bad.
Doing
Excellent.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching a bit of you earlier, and then I just been bouncing around and watching Ragnar Iron Spear. He was thing going there, and he's got a good channel too. There's so much. People out there doing this stuff, man. It's hard to watch everybody.
Yeah, it is.
So I laid out a lot of topics on the table, right? Israel, Lebanon. What's on your mind, Chris?
Oh man, it's just anybody who I typed that in your chat earlier. I think it was your chat I typed it into. Anybody who advocates for war or wants war should be shot in the face.
Yep.
It's like all these people. For even when you look at World War II and all the wars, like all the people that die, it's always like my grandfather said it best back when I was a kid. He says, "War is nothing but the poor man fighting for the rich man's wealth."
Yes. Oh yeah.
Always some rich assholes going, "Yeah, we're going to war," but they don't fight. Their kids don't go fight. I don't understand how people didn't turn around, do a 180, and take out the people who were pushing them to go to war. I can't figure that out. Oh wait, no, it's powerful paychecks, pensions, and pools. That's what it is.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very, very sad thing to see because there's so many casualties, man. You know, like civilians losing their lives because of bombs dropping and such. It's what the hell's happening? You know, it's like peace. That's what we want. We want peace, no war.
And that's the thing too, man. These the Germans back in the Second World War. They could drop a mortar in your back pocket. That's how precise they were just with the mortars back then. Never mind their artillery. But they were very accurate with the rudimentary equipment that they had back then. They were very accurate.
But nowadays they can't hit the target.
And everything, man. No, but there's no excuse for fucking civilian casualties. They just don't care.
Yeah,
they don't care.
exactly.
Exactly.
They have the most precise, precision freaking weaponry now, but yet there's more higher casualty rate now than there was in the Second World War, pretty much.
Take out all the civilians, every last one of them.
I know that guy.
Right?
How are you doing, Johnny?
How you been?
Not too bad.
So I had a question for Chris. Whose birthday it is? It's
mine's on November 10th, but she left it together with a Halloween party, so we had a bunch of people here last week.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I see the balloon in the back, so I'm like, okay, did I miss a birthday?
Like 5-0, man.
Yeah, just means he's a Fed.
Yeah.
5-0 Fed.
Now you're an old guy, right?
Yeah, you're older. You're a bit older than me. Mine is coming out in March.
Just makes it official. I like how it's gold, too, like gold.
Yeah, oh yeah. You can't even pawn it. Oh. It's fake gold. That's the era we live in. We got fake gold. We got fake money. We get fake promises that they don't hold.
Everything's fake and gay, man.
I think we need to hold them accountable again and show them what the world means. That no, you can't fuck us over. We all want peace. Everyone, even I'm pretty sure even Putin wants peace because obviously he's not dropping bomb right now. Like not the big one. I know they're attacking somewhere, but I don't know where. I'm like, okay, well, look, those countries are always.
Roger played Putin's speech earlier. That's what Putin was saying. Like, he encourages talk like that. Like what Trump he encourages that. He's offered peace, but they don't. When I say they, I mean NATO doesn't want peace because they need to justify their existence.
There needs to be an enemy, right? Enemy there, enemy there, enemy there.
If there's no boogeyman, what are we
need to have a place in the world. Like they created their place, and then they need to justify why they created their place. And we're like, look, when you create something, you don't need to justify yourself. If people like it, they'll tell you. If they don't like it, they'll tell you too. It's part of the democracy. But now they turn democracy into monopoly. And I'm like, nah, I'm not good with that. I want nothing to do with monopoly. It's like, monopoly sucks.
It's supposed to be free trade, right?
Yeah.
Not some monopoly where the higher ups can get the most money.
Exactly.
That's not.
It's not democracy. And they call it democracy, and they tell us we're extremist because of our thought. I'm like, I'd rather be an extremist the way it's going than be the silent majority.
You're far right, man.
Yeah.
What?
Hello over there, Frankie. How are you doing?
Hello, Roger. Hello, everybody. How are you doing?
Hey.
We have Canada. We have Canadian counterparts here. So how are you doing, Frankie, over there in the other part of the Netherlands?
Well, I'm doing fine.
Yeah.
I'm doing fine.
I saw you had a live stream, right, about peace. And tell us about that.
Early in the morning. Well, actually more sometimes you need to feel the audience. Maybe in Australia they were awake.
Okay.
But sometimes you need to do like a participation stream, but only respond when there is participation.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, it's something in Canada. We have problems with that. The silent majority, like the majority that's talking loud, is not what most people are thinking. And when you talk to them face to face, you can see their subject changing. So behind our back, they're talking all big, big show and all that, and in their face, they change their text. So it's we're seeing this the divide of people, and how far it's gonna go. So it tells me, I see it in Australia too. We have few friends in Australia, and they're vocal, but they're getting pushed aside.
Well,
they can't talk about everything they want to.
Well, pretty soon we're not going to be able to do any of this, man. They want this gone. This is a big threat to them. When I say
exactly, we are the media, man. We are the media. The more people watching Frankie than the news. So we are the media. We are the competition for them. They don't want us on air.
No.
We're gonna need to show up with a suit and tie every day now. Are you kidding?
I'm not gonna do that.
No. I can't do that. That's what I mean. For me, I never seen myself as the media. I just saw myself as another person just passing whatever, like my opinion. Yeah. Like I'm passing my side of the story. And I realized that side does not usually it doesn't. I don't have many people on my side, but this time for this subject, it's like it's massive. It's everywhere. Like everywhere I go,
common sense isn't common anymore, man. Yeah. If you have common sense, it's a fucking superpower, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it seems so.
Yeah.
Just going to the store, I'm seeing it. I'm talking with the person at the store, and he's telling me he's not native from Canada. He's from Bangladesh, and he's telling me they have to go. Like something has to happen. He's fed up. He's like my whole.
Did he realize he has to go too? Like, I don't care.
Personally, I would have to say.
That's the point. I was born here. I don't care.
No, but
all gotta go. They gotta go.
Like the person arrived here like 25 years ago, and he's with the old rules and all that. He's got 3 kids that are born here. So technically, and he's a worker. He owns a chain of grocery store, and he's really nice.
But the thing is, they're just as complacent, and I know.
They
they help each other out and shit. It's like, Like, and they still fly their flag and shit. Like, I don't care if you've been here 25 years and you speak perfect fucking English or not, man. Like, you still fly. You're still like your country first, not this country first.
Actually, this one is this country first.
They're still more patriotic. They still love. Like, if you love, like, even Italians, they love to fly their Italian flag, and the Portuguese and the Croatians, they fly their flag. They're all Croatia. If Croatia's so fucking great, go back. Go the fuck back to Croatia.
We need sovereign nations that can decide for themselves. You know, no EU and other global organizations or lobby groups, you know, deciding the agenda. What do you think, Frankie?
I think that on one side, people should not be so gullible and more resistant. So that's one part of the brainwash of the corporate greed.
Yes.
So people following the money. So yeah, that's where they end up. When you follow the money, you are not waking up to a calling anymore. And ask yourself why. The most annoying sound is your alarm clock that you set to make somebody else rich. And you call them boss, and you are content with that and happy with that.
Correct.
And you are now having 3 jobs, 3 bosses, and you cannot make ends meet.
Yeah,
exactly.
And both, you know, mother and father both have to work.
That's also
where one parent should be able to stay home and raise their kids, man. That's
how it used to be, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
One person working in the family, supporting the family and such, and now you have like 2 people, and you know that's even hard.
You see, to me, I wouldn't make it if they really want equality and all that.
Hi, how are you? Hi, I've talked to many women. They would have loved that.
A lot of women
would
love
have
that.
given up all this work shit to stay at home and raise their kids like they were supposed to. They don't need to be a job and a career and all that. They want to be mothers.
But even then, there are some women that wants to work in the world, and I'm like, I got no problem with it. So what I would do is I would split the day in 2. Like half of the day, the man goes to work. The other half, the woman goes to work. So now the man, and you do it 50-50. That way, it's both of their job that they're at home and they're at work.
Because we all know you don't want your kids. Like they say here in Canada, they come out and said it. Cardi in New Brunswick and the government in Quebec, they come right out and said that your children are the property of the state. They think they own your kids, man. That's why, like when both parents have to go to work, you're dropping your kids off at a fucking government-funded state propaganda, you know, indoctrination camp for the day, right?
Yeah, exactly. You know, and who knows what these kids are fed? You know,
well, we do now.
Transgender stuff.
Starting to wake up to it, man. Like
my mom was telling me about that when I grew up. I didn't see it because she wasn't vocal about it. Like she did action, but she never told me about it. I saw her once, the Oka thing. She got mad enough that she grabbed me and we went to protest for the native.
Oh, Oka was the big deal.
Oh, yeah. We were on the side of the native, and she told me we have to show them our support and all that to show them their Quebec.
Roger know? Hey, I don't mean to cut you off, Alex, but does Roger know about the Oka incident? That was international news at the time, right?
He might have known a little about it. At some point, our natives stood up against the army in Canada.
Yeah.
And they told the army to fuck off, and the army did fuck off.
It's OKA Quebec. And
Oka.
It should pop up if you look for it. It was a big standoff, man, with the Indians.
We'll look for it.
Yeah. Over a golf course, right? Like,
yep.
And the golf course still got built, so they still lost. Like, fuck, because you can't fight the government, man. They're the guys with the guns, man. They have the monopoly on violence, and we don't. So,
yeah, but there, in my mind, there are things going on, like questions how to unify the like-minded. So nice to meet you. Who is this great
Chris.
fellow?
Yeah, it's good to meet you too, man.
Frankie is my name. Your name is Chris?
Chris Freestone.
And above me is?
I'm Alex.
Alex, hello, Alex, welcome.
Hey, buddy.
So yeah, I think that we need to have or these cyber meetings for start off, but also have some standards in communication, because once too many. What's happening now?
Oh, I'm sharing the screen. This is the Oka crisis, which was mentioned.
Okay.
I was going to share that to you. I'm just looking. I don't know how to put anything into the private chat. Okay, that's weird.
So go on with your. Sorry for that.
So yeah, I'm on the mobile phone, so it's a little bit small.
I got a big screen, man. I'm blind about it.
Yeah. So yeah, we need to unify like-minded, but also participation in a second system besides this system, which is crumbling, obviously, and the Western civilization is, the history is repeating itself, and one of the signs is this mass migration, and the only people benefit from that are the big corporations that are using them for cheap labor and extortion.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I've been saying this since the 90s, man. Like since the early 90s, I've been saying it. And then I gave up for a while, and then all of a sudden now I'm back in this room again. It's like shit.
Well,
Like, we
need
never
to
had
keep
the
pressing this. We need to keep pressing these issues, such as smuggling humans and such. This is happening, and so we need to press on these issues because it's not normal to smuggle humans onto another continent.
No.
Yep. And like I was saying, for many years, no Canadians have problem with immigration. We all know our ancestor. It's like, we all immigrated somewhere.
Yeah.
It's the problem is the immigration system. That's all fucked up. And that's what we're complaining about, not the immigration itself. Because we all know that, hey, look, if shit gets too hard in your country, you go elsewhere. That's been done since the beginning of time. So,
it's like, okay, so the immigration system. So who's in charge? Who's the immigration minister here in Canada? He's a guy from Somalia. So of course we're gonna have a bunch of he's gonna let all his buddies in. Like when you go to the DMV to go get your license, they'll fail you. They'll fail me, but they won't fail fucking Buddy Mo.
In my opinion, if you want to be in Congress, you have to be a native of that country.
Yes,
whether it's Canada, whether it's the U.S., I don't care.
We
you
agree
have to be
on
a native over there.
We agree on that principle, but our government called us racist when we told them that.
Yeah,
they called us a whole bunch of names when we said we told them that like the person that's running fishing industry should be a fisherman, but no, it's not. It's a politician, and it's like the like none of the people there are qualified to do the job.
Yeah, all the ministers are like the exact opposite of what they should be the minister of. Like whatever the Department of Fisheries, like you said, should be a minister. But the Department of friggin' Labor should be a guy who has experience in construction, right?
They're elected into position. They're not voted in, and they keep telling us they're voted in.
No, they get appointed by whoever's in charge, right? That's my buddy. My buddy Joe. Yeah, he knows all about construction. No, he doesn't. He's an idiot. But we'll hire him anyways.
That's how it works, from the top down. One guy decides, and others are chosen. And,
but at the end, they all got their license and a box of Cracker Jack.
Yeah, but Trudeau was bragging about how he had a cabinet full of women. He hired all these women, but then look what he did to Rabel. And he threw a bunch of them under the bus and shit. Right?
Well, the all the scandal, like I say, we need to go back to in Canada. We need to go back to the first scandal. That's before the wee scandal, and it's
they don't even care. They don't even they know that they can do scandalous things and rip people. They know there's no consequences, so they just do it with impunity now because now they know they can get away with it. So now they're doing it.
So to bring Rogers and other buddy there up to speed on that one. Our leaders in Canada have so many, like they got more than 50 scandal. one after the other, like scandal, like corruptions, like they got cut their hand in a cookie jar.
There's so many.
They still won't admit it, but they got caught
Is
during
it
committees
like,
and all that.
Is it like in the lines of embezzling money or?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. They got caught embezzling money at least, I think, in every single scandal they got caught. Like the Arrive Cam app. Well, it's something like $54 million that were paid to people that weren't even in tech industry, but they have the name tech in their business name, so therefore.
What is that? What is that app? What is that?
That was for people to get in and out of the country during the pandemic.
So,
to be able to travel.
The Arrive Can app. Oh yeah, what a boondoggle that was, man.
Yep. And they got caught. They got caught in court that they paid money to people that weren't in the tech industry, and the guy didn't even. It's a garage. It was a garage, and the guy called it a tech company.
They wanted to do the same thing over here in the Netherlands. We had a new system called 2G, right?
Yep.
Frankie, maybe you can say more about that. You know.
About what?
The 2G system during the pandemic.
Traveling and shit, yeah.
I'm not sure if that was more like a digital passport, but that was something that the Dutch government would lead together with Canada.
Okay.
And yeah, not the. So first of all, you know, we can have criticism, but I think it's very important to think about how to speak truth to power without getting ourselves crushed. So I think that the growing in awareness, because I think that migration, when I look to the weather and the manipulation of it, is these days very dangerous what's going on. Like the flash flooding in Europe is like going crazy everywhere.
What about the hurricanes? You know, the hurricanes over there in the U.S., the Gulf of Mexico, Helene, and
they're calling it climate change, but to me, they're changing the climate.
yeah, they are changing the climate by
I know.
cloud seeding and such. You know.
Yeah, and cloud seeding is a thing, and now they get so professional at it. They flood 3 countries in Africa to be able to have one with grass. That's why we're seeing on Google Earth now, if you look at Africa, there's a part of it that has grass on it. It's all green. It's because of that. They use cloud seeding there, but then in the meantime, it flooded 3 other countries because of it.
Yeah.
That's the upset of it.
It's very sad to realize that, you know, the higher ups are playing God.
Yeah.
Yep.
For the smaller people, you know.
Because they think they know better, and we're all just a bunch of stupid fucking plebs and some whatever. Like, shut up, poor people. Poor people, shush. We know better. We got billions of dollars. We're smart. Yeah.
Exactly. They want to keep you poor. I just showed images of Philadelphia. You know, it's just like, what the hell's going on there? You know, tents outside, people on meth and stuff like that.
That's here in Hamilton too, man. That's down.
It's in Ottawa too.
Buddy, I've never seen Hamilton look like it does now. There's tents all over the place, man.
Yep.
And the drugs are just. I've been here 20 years. I lived here back in the 80s. It was great back then, man. Great. Like, it was, the demographics were way different. And there was some crazy people back in the 80s. But when I came here in the late 90s, like I've been here, 24, 25 years, maybe more. It's just spiraling downhill, man. Oh, they're building new buildings downtown and shit, but it's a shithole, man. Like, there's tent cities all over the fucking place, man. In the parks, needles everywhere, because we're giving them needles, we're giving them drugs. Like, kids can't run around the parks anymore, man. Their bare feet, they'll get fucking hepatitis or AIDS and shit. Right?
It's called safe supply.
No, man, this is unacceptable. This is fucking unacceptable.
I know.
Very, very sad thing to see. You know what's happening over there in Canada,
and all our hotels, all our finest hotels in Canada and in England and Ireland are all being overrun.
They're all migrant shelter now.
by fucking foreigners, man.
Over here too.
Yeah. The migrant shelter.
We paid 91,000 euros per head of asylum seekers. You know.
Yep.
I think England.
But then they're telling our veterans.
8 million a day to house these guys. That's England, I think, right?
But then they're telling our veteran, when our veteran ask why they've been fought in court by the federal government.
Yeah, Trudeau
he's like,
said,
you're asking for more than what we can give.
Right? Trudeau said that to a veteran, and
I know.
You're asking for more than we can give.
Oh, yeah, it's criminal. I'm telling you, it's criminal.
Yeah,
like,
it is criminal. And they're doing it on purpose. But people aren't mad enough, man. People aren't mad enough. They should be mad. They're not mad.
It makes me mad to see the Canadian Parliament stand up and clap for an old Nazi fart, you know?
Yeah.
Standing ovation.
What the hell are you doing?
Nazi. Yeah.
And then blame it on a mistake and think that it's all good. It's like,
and then threw the fucking speaker under the bus for it. Like, that was a setup.
The guy was saying that he was fighting the Russian, and you guys applaud after. Right. It's like, yeah. There's no setup there. They all wanted this, even though they said, "Oh, we didn't know."
Well,
you should have known.
Who he was fighting for?
Yeah.
Even I knew. You know?
Yeah.
So let's take a look at some images here. The Canadian Parliament giving a standing ovation of a Nazi, basically.
No, he was actually.
We have here in the chamber today Ukrainian-Canadian world veteran from the Second World War who fought the Ukrainian independence against the Russians and continues to support the troops today, even at his age of 98.
Look at that old fart, man. Now, this is very concerning, in my opinion, right? Because you're siding with the Nazis. You know, you fought the Nazis in the Second World War.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, again.
And that is the power grab, and one of the seemingly opposing, but they are not really opposing each other, because they have the same master puppet, but that is Zionism and Nazism. And that are actually the two forces that in the West are waging war, but for the same puppet. The same puppet controls Trump and controls Kamala. And they just play it really good. But we need to get out of that brainwash. We need to start to look to each other, to see the human being and that other human being, and try to work together on gaining trust in each other again. Because why the fuck are we building fences between our houses? When I was a child, there were no fences, and I saw the fences coming. Yep. Because they made the people back then scared for the other neighbor.
Yep. They're paranoid, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. Fences is everybody creating a building with a fence. So if I can make you build a fence around your house, I really do not need to put everybody in prisons, do I?
No.
Well, it's actually a whole planet that is one big free world, actually. But we are.
It used to be. You know, we now have.
No, it's still.
We're all living in jail one way or another. Like that.
Now you need to pass all the soldiers at each border.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they kind of institutionalize the whole planet on that aspect.
Well, we need borders. We need borders for a reason, and there's a reason why we lock our doors now. Like there was a time back in the day, like 50 years ago, people didn't bother locking their doors because they didn't have to worry about shit. Yeah. Unfortunately, with the population growth and the crime rate is going up, now you have to lock your doors, and You have to be careful who you let in your house. And I look at my country as like letting someone into my house. Like, you come into my house and you're eating all my food and shitting on the floor, then you got to go. Like, so you have to have like security and border and all that, man. You have to. It's like I welcome people too, man. People want to come here and work hard. And
we need all that.
They want to raise a family and they want to be successful, and all the power to you. I got no problems with that. But if you're just coming here to game the system and steal and fucking shit on everything and shit on our beach, you got to go.
Would you say if we had the proper politician that have a backbone and they're fighting for us, we wouldn't need none of that? Because they would do the job. Like, they wouldn't let.
Well, we'll never go back to the 50s where you can leave your door unlocked at night when you go to sleep. Right? It'll never happen again, man.
For Frankie, I heard through the grapevine that there were like refugees that were shitting on the beach, right? And
in Canada, yes, they did.
This is real.
And a girl made a post about it, and she got charged for.
Yep.
This is the destabilization of Canada and the rest of the Western world.
Yes.
Well, in Canada, spent millions of dollars on signs over in Africa to tell people not to poop on beaches and stuff. I think.
Oh yeah, it was bad enough that they paid money to have signs on every beaches.
Yeah. Please do not have here. We have bathrooms. Use the bathroom.
We do have a little the way they're dealing with us is a bit different than the rest of the world. But we're kind of the experimental country, and they're experimenting everything on us. And when they see how it works, then they're bringing it to the rest of the world. That's technically what I'm seeing.
Well,
Australia is getting everything that we're getting in Canada. Now they're getting it.
Well, it's been going on in England for a long time, man. Yep. England was a canary in the coal mine. Like that was
exactly.
People still didn't wake up over here. Like it's happening to us, and they're like, "Hey guys, it's gonna happen to us." Now it's happening to us, and everybody's like, "No." And now you have like left-wing people who voted for Trudeau, who are all, there's a lot of friggin' Indians around here. Like they're starting this, right? Like, where the fuck all these Indians coming from, man?
Yep.
Yeah, it's a very, very sad thing to see. We need to take back our countries. Right? We know what's going on. We know the World Economic Forum is behind the shadows. Putting out the agenda, Bilderberg Group, the shadow lobby groups.
But the audacity of some of these, I would say not some, most of these Indian immigrants, not feather. Friggin' the audacity of them, just the gall when they come here and how they act and how they behave, and they feel like they have every right to be here. And I'm more Canadian than you. No, you're not. You're not ever going to be a Canadian. If I move to Japan right now, I'm not ever going to be a Japanese person. I'm not.
Never ever.
Exactly.
You will, especially in Japan. I think that's one of the most racist countries.
Yes.
But Japans are really proud of being Japanese, and even if you speak Japanese, you still will be a foreigner.
You'll always be
exactly.
Because that's their culture, man. You're never gonna.
And I do believe
it's the magic dirt. Just because you're standing on the magic dirt doesn't make you that person. Like you're not.
But I think if you can respect the foreigner as to be a foreigner. Does that foreigner need to be a Japanese is also a question. I think it's actually a really good idea to say hey, you created this country, this community, and you write and speak Japanese, and you were born in your ancestors' culture. Okay, I am the foreigner in your country because I'm from the Netherlands. And I'm totally fine with that. And you can call me foreigner because it's just simply to say that I'm not from Japan.
Yeah.
Yes? So even if I go to Japan as a Dutch guy, I will eat my sandwich with cheese.
Yep.
Yes?
Oh, yeah.
And that's why they call us cheeseheads.
And I think it's one of the best way to preserve the culture of a country that way. by doing this. Like I always saw them. I always saw the Japanese. Like I know few of them, and it's like, yeah, they're not gonna talk to anyone about anything. The one that came here in Canada, they call themselves Canadians, but sometimes they regret it. They're like, look, you have no idea what you guys are giving up. It's like you're giving your right to the politic instead of telling them, look, no, we're allowed our own culture. Being a
Like the
culture is not a bad
Romanian
thing.
Canadians that
Yeah.
escaped Romania for the shit that's happening now in Canada.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
they said, hello, we didn't leave that country with the corrupt communism to come here in
Exactly.
Canada for that.
There's quite a few people here in Canada, man, that back in the 80s escaped the communist countries
Yeah,
and
like
went
Polish
block,
and
whatever, right?
yeah.
And they're all talking.
No, there's quite a few who moved back
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's all good over there now. So they some of them are just fucking moved back, right?
Yep.
That's sad, man.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
you
had a
guys-
guy at some point. We had a guy from Romania telling us that, like, he was telling us about the Russian and Ukrainian, and since he's right in between, it's like, oh yeah, okay. And he was telling us, he's like, look, he's like, I have Russian with guns coming on my land. I got Ukrainian with guns coming on my land, but nobody trespass on my land. Like he's like, I got my little fence and they don't come in. They know they're not welcome, both of them. And it's like, okay. And I'm like, they don't mind that? He's like, no, they respect our choice. And it's like, okay, how come on our side they can't respect our choices? Like, because that's communism. And it's like, oh, okay. Like he was teaching us that what we think about what those countries were 50 years ago, it's not that anymore.
Look how many YouTubers have moved to Russia, like Westerners. You got that guy, Survival Russia, from the Netherlands, from your guys' neck of the woods. He's a good dude. He's got a good YouTube channel. There's a family from Canada that they just did a live today, actually. There's a couple of Americans. There's a bunch. There's Brits. There's a whole lot of guys that are doing YouTube videos now, and they're getting lots of views and getting monetized. And they're all starting a new life in Russia. It's like, who'd have thought there'd be like an exodus of people from the West moving to Russia for freedom? Like religious freedom, just getting away from the gay shit.
People realize what we call communist 50 years ago is not what it is now. And now they upgraded from that. They understood back then.
Exactly. The people in Russia, it's not a union anymore. It's a federation.
Yeah.
It's a whole different political structure. Even though that's also corrupt, right?
Oh yeah, it is.
Every system is corrupt.
Yeah, exactly. Corruption is everywhere, but it's not communist.
Yeah,
capitalistic.
They're not meddling in your life. Like they're not. It's not a government that says that they own your kids.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, our government tries to make us think that's what it is, and it's like no. I can research myself, and everything I'm seeing, it's not bad.
I have nowhere to go. I live in this country, the Netherlands. I'm proud of my country for what we accomplished in history, right? Even though we also have black pages in our history.
Oh yeah.
And fair enough. Every country has that.
Every country has black pages.
And it's very sad to see that people that love their country, that want welfare for the country, that they're being demonized.
Yep.
They're putting people as a terrorist, over here in the Netherlands. People that speak out,
Like for us, it's when they called us a fringe minority and terrorist and stuff like that. And it's like, what? You're going to put us in a class of terrorism because we stood up with hockey stick to play hockey and bouncy castle in a damn hot tub? And then you're going to trample us and beat us and match us with equal force? It's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, that was disgusting to see. Roger and I and a lot of Dutch people through our channels were watching with us together, but we were disgusted by it. And also, every time on social media, when I see Macron, then or Trudeau, Trudeau must go, Macron demotion.
Yep.
I don't care for which country they are, but I know what they are. Yes,
Yep.
and they are not great people. They are actually doing nothing, fucking over the people of the country, and stealing, and you can call that successful, but there are other successes that we can achieve, which is more important than
Yes.
the physical on this planet.
What? Sure. There, I sent you a link there, Roger.
I see. I love that song, man.
Yeah, that's a good tune. The guy who made that song is right here. Who's this guy?
Oh,
I made it.
So I figure it's the Trebuchet one.
Yeah.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
It's a catchy tune, man.
We're going to play that when we close off, right?
And
that's a good one for the end. Yeah.
It's still on YouTube, so obviously it's fine.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like I say, it's a catchy one.
YouTube has banned me and stuff like that,
Yeah,
I'm not allowed to talk about this.
Yeah.
Frankie knows a lot about that. We did live streams together, and we got banned during the live stream.
For what? What did they ban you for?
The truth, and the platform. They deplatformed my channel.
Yeah.
They erased everything.
Yeah,
because
I
was saying to them, I was speaking the truth to YouTube. I say, I don't think this is correct, because the original video of the doctor is still on his page. I say, and you delete me. And then they took out the whole channel.
Yeah, so that's the medical thing about. Oh yeah, they'll be all over it for that.
Oh yeah,
because they're still trying to quadruple down on their bullshit and their lies.
Well, yeah,
right?
but they fuck up so much all around the planet. And
I only get banned playing songs. I get copyright strikes. That's how I get banned. They don't ban me for things I say. I talk about everything, man.
Wow.
And knock on wood, they haven't yeeted me for speech. They've only yeeted me for playing the wrong song. Like Disney owned it or Sony owned it.
Yeah, same here. Same here.
Yeah.
They try every way possible, and then they realize they can't really stop free speech because it's a problem. Like I got banned by them I think 47 times, and I realized I always came back. And
they lost millions of viewers,
Oh yeah.
So when YouTube was doing that, we all were going to Rumble and to other platforms. And then YouTube started to do shorts and then make the verified symbol. I said to YouTube, I don't need your verified symbol. I am verified. I do not need such thing that is so criminal, so criminal to verify me. Yeah, so I made my own verify thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
Can you put a banner in there, Roger? And you put in the banner verified.
Yeah, when I see a blue check mark next to somebody, man, I just take it with a grain of salt.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, you're a sellout. You're a sellout.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's exactly what I think too. I see everywhere I go. I don't even go on Twitter anymore because I see that check mark everywhere, and I'm like, those are the one I can't listen to.
Yeah, they're the
and
ones
that's all they give us. So
they're
I'm
just
like,
telling you all the things you want to hear, and they're sucking the dick, and they're not saying the things that need to be said. I think they're just they're walking. Those are the ones that are professional eggshell walkers, I guess, right?
There you go.
Because they want to get that silver plaque or whatever, and they want to get the
roundtable discussion verified. There you go.
I see them as P Diddy's grouper.
Yeah, what's going on with P Diddy? I mean, all these weird parties and just Justin Timberlake.
It's way worse than what you think,
stuff.
man. The more I hear,
I have a question about
that's
that.
a rabbit hole you don't want to go down, man. It's pretty fucking gross.
I have a question about that. Do you think that everything that's happening now is like, and I know it's grim to think that way, but what about the Epstein Island and that stuff?
That's all.
Do you
covered
think
up.
that everything that's happening is just to make us think about something else but that?
That's all covered up, you know. We'll never know the truth.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. And I like, I wouldn't take it out of them to create this scenario just so we stop asking questions about that one subject. And it's like, because they're all connected. We know they're all connected.
I know one thing for sure. Epstein did not kill himself. Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I believe that too. And
they use it as a distraction.
Yeah.
So when the leak and also the witnesses, there are simply too many witnesses.
Yep.
So they lost control because they lost control of their own ego greedy behavior. It got so out of control that they cannot control it anymore. Yes. And what do you think, for example, in the USA with missing children, with how many children are getting trafficked?
Yeah, exactly, man.
that is why I was asking that, because to me, when I see the island and all that, I'm talking about the whole thing about the trafficking children across the planet that's happening. And they don't want no one to talk about that enough that they even want to start war with other country for us to stop talking about it.
They have the numbers.
We talk about it here in RHTVLive, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The numbers that they have, the numbers that they give you for all the trafficked children that they know of, just scratch the surface.
Yeah.
Just the numbers of all the killers, known people who have been convicted of murder that are in the country now, and the known pedophiles and rapists that were convicted that are now roaming the country. They don't know where they are. Like, they have numbers, but those numbers, man, are just scratching the surface because they don't know. That's like a very small. Those are the ones that just got caught, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people out there that don't get caught, man. There's more people out there that don't get caught doing what they're doing than there are the ones that do get caught, right?
But there was somebody who was on the Tor network who made something, I think some software which is making connections. So if you only look at, so for example, the USA economy was previous to all the bullshit they built now, also out of control. But some years ago, it was held alive because of all the money made of children.
Yes.
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 So then you can have an idea. If that's the fact, then you know that the factor, like what they have caught, you can count how much. How much would they make for a child? What's the shelf life? They talking about
they're making
shelf
so much
life
money.
of children. Yeah.
They're making so much money that they're able to pay for everybody's silence in a way.
They can buy complete countries. Money is no longer an obstacle, and that's the problem that we are facing. And the USA just keeps printing. Look at the US debt clock. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
How much? 36 trillion, or is it 40 trillion now? Roger,
Well,
do you know it?
I believe Donald Trump wants to, end the Federal Reserve and place tariffs.
Well, he should. Like, I do think we should go back to a gold standard because the Federal Reserve fucked it up. And the Federal Reserve it's the first one that talked about digital credit.
Alex, every country that wants to go gold standard, like what was the last one was Libya with Gaddafi. What happened to him? Because he had
I know.
Gold
I know,
standard.
but that's why I mean they need to go. That way we can go back to something that made sense to all of us.
Well,
because gold standard made sense at some point in time to most of us. We grew up with it.
the only power is executive power, right? So,
Yeah.
if Donald Trump
Yeah,
really says we're going to end the Fed, he needs to keep that promise.
Yes.
That would be good for America and the
Oh,
rest
yeah.
of the world.
But we have to hold him accountable if he doesn't also, and that's the main thing. We need to, as civilization, we need to take more care. Like working day to day is not the only job that we have as a human being now. It seems we need to hold them accountable.
Exactly. We need to be involved in
Yeah.
politics, right?
I know a lot of people don't want to be involved, but we need to be more involved, like one way or another.
Well, I also think that we need to reunite outside the system.
Oh yeah. Oh
You
yeah.
know, I
Big time.
think that if you participate,
I might have.
because a lot of people are complaining about the system that they participate in, and not just a little bit, but every with a normal day job. And we need to reset our own mindset as well to the system, and then we need to fill in what do we want to do. Yes, because if you count labor, labor is time. How much time to do all the labor for all the companies existing on the planet? How many people do we have? Then nobody should work more than 10 hours a week and then should think about the free time.
Yeah, exactly.
But in the Netherlands, everybody here, it's now in the papers. Oh, most people are struggling with a burnout or close to a burnout in the Netherlands.
Wow. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
It's what happened to me. The way I see it, it's what happened when you bring everybody for 2 years to tell them to stay inside. Then you tell them you need to work at home. Now they're forcing, companies are forcing people to go back to work because they realize, hey, this is not good for society. People are getting more clustered.
It's all about making money, and the Federal Reserve makes money out of nothing. Now, in the late 1800s, you had the American bank, which was owned by the government, right? So they did not need to lend the money from the bank, because they could make their own dollars and such.
Yeah.
The greenback. Look it up.
Yeah, in a way, like we need to figure a way to make our own money on the side.
Was it Roosevelt that sold it out? I think it was Roosevelt.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure which one sold out the World Reserve for the.
Well, we used to have the Bank of Canada, and that got fucking sold out too.
Oh yeah. As soon as USA decided to go with it, they went with it for 50 years, and then Canada followed. But yeah, we do need to make a new money system on the side, like
There
trucking or
are
something like
projects
that. Just
like the Venus Project. It's about a resource-based economy.
okay.
Other system that I participated in using it was the Eura system, in which humans need to understand that the value of attention. I give Chris an hour attention. That's the value. Yes, that's valuable. So you have that 1 hour labor is 1 hour labor in the future. And that should be the value of, for example, the project you start, you produce something, you sell something, and then you do not overvalue in front of the comma, but you overvalue behind the comma, so nobody can have twice as much money than the other one.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that would work.
So you
And
close
then,
the
from
gap
there-
of rich and poor.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No.
That sounds like Tommy Gobbledygook. What are you talking about?
But you're right. You're right, Chris. It does. But to me, I haven't been proven that communism is not the right way to go, or dictatorship is not the right way to go. It just depends what
it's never
type
been done
of.
right, man. It's never been
Yeah,
done
exactly. We haven't found the
right. I
right
did
person
communism,
to
I
do
do
it.
it better, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't mean. But
it works on a small scale. Like say if all of us, say the 200 or 300 of us, like-minded individuals who we're all neo-noticers. We notice the bullshit. We all get together. We take over a small town. That could work. That would be communism, actually, because we would all pitch in, work together. Not everybody's going to be equal. Some people are going to be some people are going to be rich, some richer people, and some people are going to be more successful, and others and whatnot. But everybody pulls their weight and works together for the greater good of that community.
Exactly.
Communism.
Yeah, if let's say, because I started projects with the fundament basics of democracy, and the smallest number of democracy is 3, and that's a trinity, which is also a unity, and you can form decisions, and with these decisions you can invite other people to participate in such project, which has the structure and fundaments also to be legit.
Yeah.
And then you can give the rules, but hey, Roger is also there. So you go into cycle of 28 days to be what? The chairman. Next time you will be the treasurer, and next time you will be the secretary. Yes?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like the guys yeeted me to Dumpster Island. It's a term we use as a joke over here. It's an inside joke. But if you don't agree with the alt-right over here, they'll send you off to Dumpster Island. So Dumpster Island's getting pretty full. But it's like Dumpster Island's getting bigger, but it's like
it's not a joke. It's your drawing.
Because like I said, people can work together. Like you can have a small community and everybody pitches in. You grow food. What's your job? Oh, and that's what I was saying. I'll be king of Dumpster Island one day, and then tomorrow you can be king of Dumpster Island, and I'll be secretary. I don't care. Like the hierarchy is just it's just for show, right?
Chris, didn't you have like a comic strip of Dumpster Island?
Yeah, that's what I mean. To me, I didn't see it as a joke. I saw it as something concrete. Yeah, there you go. It's concrete. He's got a plan right there.
There's Dumpster Island,
and it makes more sense than Trudeau's plan. That much.
So Whore Island. Whore Island is where all the washed up OnlyFans chicks are, and they love cats. So I had to go to Cat Island and bring a bunch of cats over to them.
Amazing.
Awesome.
There's the kitties.
Awesome. There's the kitty.
Boat full of kitties. And take that over to Whore Island. That's
Roger, can you make the screens of both of you big? One big one.
Yeah, put your drawing one at a time with the big screen. That's me, not me. I don't have a drawing.
I gotta figure this out. Wait.
Yeah,
that's good.
I don't know. He's getting creative.
There you go.
There you go.
That's cool.
RHTVLive 2024.
Ah, nice. Yeah.
Add some color to that.
I have a new sketchbook, so I was also drawing this one.
Okay, yeah.
That's cool. Cool.
Can also, turn it both ways and such. So let's see if I can make Chris bigger. Let's see.
Oh, you can. You just have to figure it away.
I got to figure it out.
Yeah,
that's not it.
That's not it. That's not it. Sorry.
Try the next one.
I'm trying all these layouts, but not really
closer.
Working.
Chris, try speaking. Maybe he's able to get you when you're speaking.
I don't know. No, that shouldn't matter. It should just be just click on my screen. Yeah,
it's going fantastically.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, man. Normally, I never have guests on the
practice makes perfect.
We got Chris that won't even try it because he knows. You got yourself that you're trying. I did that too. I just don't know this platform, so
I started hitting buttons, man. I yeet myself off my own platform. Like everybody else is still alive, but I'm gone. Fucking out of this fucking thing.
No, that's not it.
Nope, not it.
Oh, maybe you can drag his picture.
He's an IT guy.
Like drag his picture where you are and move yourself where he is, and maybe it's gonna make his picture big.
Nope,
If it
not
does,
working out.
Okay.
Or
okay.
when you press on his picture.
Oops, what the hell?
Okay, so now none of us are there. Okay, now
We were behind the scenes. Behind the scenes.
Hey, it's okay. We're discovering together what works and what doesn't.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's what it's good to have.
We're hitting buttons over here.
And when you tap on his square, like double tap, maybe then it gets big.
Or right click on it and it shows you a menu.
Nope.
I think if you just go to my screen and hit it, wouldn't it go bigger? No.
No, doesn't work that way.
Because I know on my side.
I'm used to StreamYard, man. You know, StreamYard.
Yeah. I was gonna say this isn't StreamYard, right? This is a different platform.
Yeah. This is Restream.
Restream.
So I'm sorry I couldn't enlarge you, Chris, but you did show.
That's okay. We get the gist of the dumpster island. I thought the story made so much sense.
I still wanted to be enlarged.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to being enlarged.
Yeah, but that's also when we talk about education.
Who doesn't like getting enlarged?
We need to educate the children for what they need and not to feed their greed by asking them, what do you want? No, what do you need? But that is most likely a female task for the mother to do. And he made me think about that OnlyFans island, like the decency, sorry to say, but the decency of a majority of women is not what I had expected to be.
No.
It's because for decades now they've been called princess and treated like daddy's little princess. You're not a fucking princess, right?
And not just that is
the girls that are successful are the ones that were raised by dads and had older brothers. I noticed a trend for the girls that I know who had older brothers or a good dad who taught them how to fish and hunt and shoot, and those women are successful, and I wouldn't fuck with them. They'll kick the shit out of you, right?
Like,
and they're hot.
I've been saying it for a while now. The whole world is PTSD from what they did to us. Yeah. And we need to start that therapy because that fucked up the woman. Like that's how the woman reacted of being locked down for 2 years. It's like, yeah.
You see,
now they don't want human interaction and they're all crying at 40 because they don't have a man.
Now we're waging wars everywhere, traumatizing even more people.
Exactly.
This is not what we want. We want peace.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. But then we're still PTSD of what happened, but then none of the people that caused this from happening want to talk about it. So we're trying to deal with it a certain way.
And all the wars now.
Yeah.
That's a chant you guys can shout, Freedom.
Oh, we do have that. Yeah. Stop the war machine. Stop the war machine is the one that the boys downtown are using all the time. That's Johnny Rowe.
Yeah, maybe we should wear shirts that are saying something in the trend that what we experience in our surroundings is not normal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there is this movie, Alive, I believe is the name. Roger, where he is lifting his sunglasses.
I just watched that. That movie right
They
here.
live. They live. Yeah, they live.
They live. Yeah, they live.
Yeah.
I got it right here. I just watched it.
Yeah. That's the one. That's the one.
The good old DVD.
And back in the day, you had an even older movie where they were talking about the factories and everything.
Yeah, the one in the 70s, right?
Yeah.
You ever want to check it out? It's half Canadian, half American made, but it's pretty entertaining. You'll like it. It's not woke.
Yeah.
Funny as all hell. Yeah. if you're into music and you like bands and shit, and Alice Cooper and stuff like that, that's
okay.
Oh yeah,
music references in it. Yeah,
Poison.
Yeah, it used to be. It used to be good music. Like I grew up from the 70s to the 2010. It was the best music that we ever gonna have. Like they can't replicate whatever we grew up with. It was excellence, but between excellence and rock stars, I'm like, okay, you can't have better than that. And now they're pop artists. I'm like, oh, you're a rapper. Okay, what do you sing about? Oh man, the crib. And it's like, okay, I can't even
Stabbing
relate
the
to this.
shit out of you.
Yeah, I can't even
And I
relate to
kill
none
you
of the
10
music.
times in your grave.
Yeah,
I love this scene, man. I really love this scene. I'm here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Yes,
There you go.
that's a great one.
true.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Yeah. There you go.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Yeah, it's an excellent movie, man. It's real cool. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
I came here to eat bubble gum and kick ass. Hey, that's fun. When I go to the supermarket next time, when I enter the I came here to choose.
They added that saying into the movie Stand Up Guy.
Do that when you enter Parliament. I'm here to chew bubblegum and kick
I have
ass.
come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
But I'm out.
Hey, it tells you back then they had balls and humor.
Yes.
Now we only have humor.
Kicking ass was fun back in the day.
The other way, I like the other one. Off is the general direction in which I wish you to fuck.
Yeah.
Someone said,
You gotta say it to the mic.
oh, yeah.
They can't.
They go,
Yeah.
get in my fuck off portal.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I need to remember that one. Put it in the notes here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Anyways, guys, I think I'm gonna skedaddle. Thanks for having me on, Roger, man.
Thank you for joining.
Yeah,
Thanks.
talk to you guys.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Frank. Wait, Frank, there we go. Good to meet you, man. Yeah, hopefully we'll
next time.
in the future, guys. Yeah, thanks, man. It's just cool. I like shooting the shit with you guys. It's always great discussions, great talk, and
yeah.
You're always welcome to come on. So
it's weird times we're living in, man. It's like we need to talk this stuff out just to keep our sanity, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Anyways, on that note, gentlemen, I'm gonna skedaddle.
Have a good one.
Behave
Have
yourself.
a good one.
Keep your stick on the ice. Don't piss and don't eat yellow snow and all that stuff.
We won't. We won't.
All right, later.
Have a good one.
Peace out.
And imagine before all this, we had to go to a therapist to have the connection, to be able to let it out and all that. Now it's all done freely with other people that understand, and it's like, okay, we stopped spending money on that, so I guess therapy is free now. The internet brought us that in a way. Like for me personally, I keep complaining about the internet and the negative effect of it, but I do realize that they are positive effect. This is one of them. We're able to connect with other people from other country and pass our differences, and we can understand where those peoples are better.
Yeah, exactly.
I know that I don't need to judge them, because I know Judgment Day will come, and I will not be the judge. And that's just simply how it is. And that's also, we need to observe the reality more about what are we willingly to contribute to the change, and then there is only one answer. It's not that all other people need to change. No, I need to change myself. And one thing in all this big brainwashing what's going on is that I need to change my own point of view, what that majority decision have made. So we need to still keep like living together and as much as one as we can. And whatever happens, some will escape the dance, and that's better when you are seeing, but you cannot force the masses, because the masses are already forced by the brainwash and the greed, and they are an individual. They don't know what a group is anymore, and their ego is, complemented by the grades, and you need to do and harder and more and better, the pressure, distraction, everything is built into the society we live in. And sometimes, but not too much. Yes, that's what we say. Sometimes, but not too much. But everything is built in.
It's what happened. It's what happened when big pharma controls everyone's society, because they're able to, like, for me, the way I see it on our side is, big pharma is controlling the whole thing, but who is controlling big pharma?
Yeah,
because they are drugging the planet with whatever, and we can't really say anything, but it's everywhere on the planet, and it's legal for them to do it. But when you do it, it's not. And it's like, oh, okay, so what gives you the authority to, oh, well, we appointed ourselves? And it's like, there's something in humanity. Like, for me, I believe in evolution and all that, and coping with each other. But then there's something that happened that most people don't want to deal with. And it's like, no, we saw your true color on there's a certain personality out there that we saw their true color. And now that we've seen that, it's never going to go back, because we understand that they will, like, whatever their intention was, pretty sure it's the population. And if it's that, can we really be peaceful about it?
If we look at that shared image, right, we see the tank man, right? One person standing against a whole military, Strategism tanks, they couldn't drive any further. Just one person saying, no, I don't want this shit. I don't want the army in my city. Go away.
And it happened many times. I have a picture of a monk that's giving the finger to a truck, because the truck came in with massive megaphone and just blasted the monk that was sitting in the street for no reason. And the monk eventually lost his cool. He just flipped him the finger and walked away. And it's like, but he made them lose like 3 months of their life. He was sitting there, and it's like, well, at least he made you wait 3 months.
I am Spartacus, right? I'm Spartacus. I'm resisting against the system of warfare and suppression of the population.
But we need to anticipate on the bubble of awareness that expands. So on a certain moment, the bubble of awareness expands, and then you get the yellow vest or the people's convoy, or then when the awareness is open, then people, what's happening? Oh, this and that is coming. The expansion of awareness. So we should not so much talk about, when I talk about awareness, as in revolution, but more in evolution. And we need to make sure, that because everything can happen, and go fluently, more fluently than now. And nobody needs to die. We do not need to hurt anybody, but it would be nice if the politician would grow in that same awareness. But then, who is willingly to contribute to let such bubble expand, because when we are talking about it, people listening, maybe some coins drops, or maybe next time. Yes, and these platforms, but also points of gathering, like a coffee point, and maybe one times a month you organize a barbecue, like to socialize with other people, where you also can put some flyers with a little bit of information, not the whole Bible. So we do not need to make the same mistakes as Jehovah Witnesses, like, knock, 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 and I know this is in the Bible. Let me tell you all about it. And I smack you the Bible in the face. Yes, eat it. That's too much.
But I guess every like, to me, I believe we're all unique. So everyone has a different aspect. You see, when the Jehovah Witness arrived at my house, I opened the door. I tell them to come in. They came in. They sat down. They sat down at the table. They started talking, and they saw me rolling a joint and smoking it right there. And then they saw me getting up and locking the door. I'm like, you're not getting out until you see me smoking that joint. You're gonna force me to hear your bullshit. You're gonna hear mine now. And the guy looked at me. I never saw him after. And the Jehovah Witness never came back to my house. They understood. It's like, I'll listen to you, but you're going to listen to me too. And they realize it's like it's 50-50 as soon as you walked in my property. But and that's how I deal with Jehovah Witness. Even if I was on the street, I would do the same thing. I advise to them. I'm telling them, hey, look, if you're going to tell me about your thing, you want me to tell you about my thing too, right? And you're going to stay there listening to it.
Well,
right?
discussion, discussion is always good, right?
Yeah.
So it's good that we're here around the virtual table, discussing all of these topics,
And this is the thing, like, we need to weaponize ourselves with words and with expressions like, oh my God, humanity got so broke they cannot pay attention anymore.
For me, YouTube was a great reminder that I needed to change my vocabulary online. I realized it's like, when I'm in person and all that, I don't, I'm way worse. But I learned online, I have to diminish everything. And it's like, okay, think about the people, and everybody's feeling butthurt now for any words you say. So I'm like, okay. I learned.
When Roger and I are offline, we are really sweet angels.
Right.
Oh yeah. No, but that's what I like about the group that we created, the little family in Canada. We created on that for that reason, because we do have our online chat, and then we have the offline chat, and man, I'm telling you, the offline chat is going up the norm.
Same over here in the Netherlands. Same over here, We're communicating with each other, and that's beautiful to see.
I'm happy that the energy is there. Like, you can see, like, most people did adapt to this new thing with the censorship and all that. We're not okay with it, but we understand. It's like, okay, well, we need to talk like the rich prick to be able to stay on air and be. I'm like, okay, I'm no Joe Rogan here. I'm like, I just want to pass the message, but I'm no Joe Rogan. I'm like, I understand what the problem is. But I'm like, you're not going to make a Joe Rogan out of me.
Joe Rogan is also just a person.
Yeah, he's good. I think he's awesome for the reason I still think he's part of that whole thing.
Yeah, well, I know for sure. Well, I'm not fond of him. I see through his bullshit and lies, and it's sorry that I say,
it's okay.
If you have intelligent people talk with each other, well, then there will be no Joe Rogan around the table. And even the way, like,
that's why
hello,
he's not
Joe
here.
Rogan, that's a scientist. He studied 27 years on a small part of a very complex thing. And then you say, out of your arrogance, well, I don't know, and blah, blah, blah. And then you are going to overtalk him. I think, no, that is not...
For me, I saw Joe Rogan at the beginning. I saw Joe Rogan technically as what's his name there, Don Cherry of Canada. Like Don Cherry is he's an announcer, hockey announcer. He knows everything about hockey, just like Joe Rogan knows everything about MMA.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's his classification. But then after the whole thing, he appeared online. He needed to be relevant again, and it's like, oh. Okay,
you know where I found out that he is contributing to a brainwash part of people is where you do such claims and it counts for everybody that says, we don't actually know. Yeah, fuck you, Joe Rogan. Ask me one question. I give you everything very precise and accurate, and it's the truth. And now I would not throw it at once through your throat. But and now we don't know. Yeah, how came I knew it? I say, and I'm not the only one.
Oh yeah, no, you're actually right on that. Like I say at first, everything he's gonna say about if he has a show and it's talking about MMA, I know that I will believe him because he's got the experience behind the MMA.
Yeah.
But
Definitely,
other than that,
he is talking about MMA, he does make sense. He's not always right, but I practice enough MMA that I know I can talk about it.
Yeah.
It's also a passion of mine. And then I also believe, it should go this way. But if you are doing many, many, many matches, and I did that with my brother. I said, yeah, you see, I'm wrong here, I'm wrong there, I'm wrong there, because these matches are so unpredictable that you can say, okay, Pereira, he has that, and you think like, whoa, nobody can defeat him. And then the other guy comes, like Holloway versus Tuporia in the UFC last
You got
weekend.
me there. I have no idea. You see, I'm a pacifist. I don't want to see people fighting each other. It's stupid.
But
why would you do that?
In the 80s, fighting was kind of the entertainment, and people understood that. Like for me, I remember the days of Cam Shamrock. That's before like that. Those are the day.
When UFC started out of Pancras, where Bas Rutte from the Netherlands was kicking everybody's ass.
Okay.
He was the first UFC champion, eh?
I didn't know.
And now he's doing karate combat. But let's take a topic that Roger also can participate in.
I talk politics, you see.
I know.
UFC, it's out of my range, But Joe Rogan, he's just a human being. Such as you, such as me.
He was.
We all have influence.
No, he was. And my ID, he joined up the lizard people.
Yeah.
He got paid. During the whole pandemic and all that, he received payment of some kind.
That's true.
I almost guarantee it.
Everyone.
Well, he even asked, "Pay me to lie."
Yeah.
I will lie for you. That were his words. But if I look the way that he was talking about flat Earth, come on, you are no longer sane. When you talk about flat Earth, you lost sanity.
Well, first of all, you need to know your history. Aristophanes, he figured out the curve of the Earth, and stuff like that.
For that, the only thing to me that would come to mind is, hey, look, let's build a shuttle and let's go find out.
Well,
where the water stays on the
land. For me, to me personally, it won't make a damn difference if it's flat or round.
No, that's the whole point. When you discuss the shape of the planet, while we have a crisis in humanity, how we treat each other.
Exactly.
That's where I say you lost sanity. Because in reality, you are wearing a gun because you are afraid.
Yes.
I'm not wearing a gun because I'm not afraid.
But then nowadays, wearing a gun is kind of a need for the reason that people are crazy out there.
Yeah.
They're totally crazy. They're nuts. And it's like,
you
okay, well, how
see,
far are you going to let the nuts take
in
over?
in the U.S., you have the Second Amendment. It's
Yep.
not meant for hunting. It's meant for government.
Defending yourself.
Yeah, government when they're dictatorial.
Mm-hmm.
And they are dictatorial right now.
Yep.
So
I do believe that.
the Americans have the right to bear arms and stuff.
Oh, don't worry. The Canadian have the right too. It's not a written one.
We will see what will happen when or if Donald Trump will be president. I think there's a civil war brewing.
Well, I think
I think that's what they want. They want the civil war to happen. That way, it's gonna give them it's gonna give the WEF the mandate to declare the next pandemic. Because personally, I think that's where they're going. That's why they're prepping everything, because they're gonna try to take control over everyone. They want the one world order to be on. And it's like, okay, well, they're finding out. The world is
The
finding out.
pandemic was never about public health. It was about public power.
Yes.
How can you display public power?
Exactly. And I think now that they have the law that they can start one anytime they want, they're just waiting for the next little thing. And I think migration is where it's going to come in.
No.
Because that's where they're going to blame. But how, after everything that happened, right after, let's say, that the whole pandemic was real and all that, how come you're bringing, right after a tragic thing like that, you're bringing tons of new people in? Would that contribute into a problem?
The thing
the virus thing?
The thing I don't understand, right? We had like social distancing and
exactly,
and whatever else, and suddenly Russia attacked Ukraine, and everything was dissolved.
Yep,
basically.
exactly. And they're wondering why we're asking question now, but no, we're seeing right through all the lies that they put in, because now they were a little bit more, they were more obvious, because they're PTSD just like us, and it's like, okay, they can't act straight without and hide something properly. So now we're seeing everything they do, because they don't really care. They never did. But that aspect never showed up. Now it's showing up, and they're realizing that we know this. We're seeing it, and they don't like that. So how far are they going to go to reinstore their power? But then as soon as they do that, well, something tells me that they're going to find out pretty quick that, no, the world said no.
Well, they are digging their own holes, and they are actually in their own trap. They are trapped themselves, trapping others. But I think that as a human being, knowing that you are a spiritual being, you need to raise your own frequency. And that is also where you will walk through those people as in the twilight zone. I often experience that. And then I think, really nice, because at one time you seem a little bit invisible. You get that sense of
did any one of you had a TV show called Other Limit at some point in time?
We had like the Twilight Zone. And,
but it was called Other Limit.
No, we didn't have that.
At the beginning of Other Limit, they're telling you that they can control everything you see. They can control the color, the sound. They can control you with the sound. And it's like, and I'm like, as a kid, that imprinted me that no, this is called television.
Yeah, exactly.
So right there, I got like, this is a programming.
They're projecting the future.
Yeah.
Right. But
the future that they were projecting back then was about the future they were projecting was technically the Jetsons' future, but now they changed. In the last 15 years, they don't want that. They're like, no. We're going to press them on everything else that we couldn't achieve. And that's the narcissistic part of them. They're like, no, we need to do this now. And it's like, no, you tried that 100 years ago when society told you no back then. But we can try now to see if it works. And it's like, how about we just stop that from happening? Because there's a way, but and back in the day, they called it they call it many different names.
Here we have the executive producer of RHTVLive.
Oh, nice.
So she's watching us.
Oh, she's gonna hit the key of the keyboard.
Yeah. But we're closing off. So the last rounds, Alex, I thank you for coming on. Do you have anything more to say? Or,
No. Other than everybody have a good day. And
were there any comments or something, or how does this participation function with YouTube?
I showed a lot of comments.
Yep.
So.
Oh.
But
let me see if I can see them this way.
Chris says next year. That was about the.
Yeah, that was about the election.
Yeah. We have Unzip Dick saying, I like your French accent. We have Mr. Green Thumb, which is Alex. I'm in the back. So, and he says, I did join. I was kind of, looking how this whole thing works here. So, yeah. We have lots of comments. And we also have this link here.
Well, that is knowing, like that the audience that wants to, and that is where we need to be a little bit, what I think is like, there are situations and moments that you just know, now I can drop a truth bomb. And now it's not the best thing to do.
Yeah.
So patience is important, but also not too much. Formulate a question that makes them think first. Yeah. So if they can think about it themselves, like, and then you can say, or is it maybe this? I don't know. What do you think?
Mm-hmm. So we're going to close off with this song here that Chris had given us. Right? Send them away with the trebuchet.
Let me know how you like it too.
I love this song, man. I love it.
It's awesome.
In the land of maple leaves, feel the cold, hear the breeze. Here comes something you should know. We got a plan, watch them go. From the Rockies to the sea, snowflakes falling, can you see? No more room, it's getting tight. We got a way to set it right. Send them away with the trebuchet back to where they came from.
Bye, Trudeau. Bye.
We'll send them flying till the dawn.
The great Canadian way.
Building castles oh so grand, polishing the perfect plan. With our wood and stony might, launching folks into the night. Radio sings an 80s tune, citizens start to swoon. With a march and a cheer, we'll make it clear. Send them away with the trebuchet back to where they came from. Any day up in the air and then they're gone. We'll send them flying till the dawn.
Hey, it's still on YouTube, so it's
From
not
the
that bad.
Rockies to the sea, snowflakes falling, can you see? No more room, it's getting tight. We got a way to set it right. Sending away with a trebuchet back to where they came from.
Bye,
Any
Justin.
day up
Bye.
in the air, then they're gone. We'll send them flying till the dawn.
Instead of bungee jumping, flying with a trebuchet.
A message from the government.
Oh, I loved it.
Typical
Oh, yeah.
Canadian beat the brat with the baseball bat.
Well, thank you all for watching. We'll see each other next time.